What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great evening. My name is Bleeves. This is Bedtime with Bleeves. We're going to talk about futures. We're going to talk about how to make money in this crypto market, and I'm going to point out something, and you may not like it, but it's what happened today. Told you exactly what was going to happen to Bitcoin, almost giving you the dollar based on liquidation. We're going to do the same thing tonight. Maybe it's going to play out the same way, and maybe we're always going to be right. Probably not, but we're going to talk like that. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit the like button on the way in. If you're coming in later, make sure you leave a comment down below telling me you like the channel and ask any questions that you want, because we are going to do Ask Believes coming up very soon. But in the meantime, we got a little permission to add something to the intro, which I'm super excited about. You're going to hear it. You're not going to know what it is because you're not nerdy enough to know, but I'm going to know. And then we're going to take our victory lap, and we're going to let you know where this market should go tonight. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, everybody? Guess what? Tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewing Ben Armstrong for TN Lights. I'm going to be doing it just for him. I'm going to be smiling the whole time. You won't be able to see me because it's going to be a podcast, and it'll be something that you're not going to be able to see in the podcast. It's not going to be a Joe Rogan podcast or anything like that, but it is going to be a podcast, and I'm going to be talking. And here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys some statistics before we start doing this, because we have my boyfriend TN Light says Rodney destroyed Ben on his video. Believes Ben lied to you. Rodney destroyed Ben. Well, let me tell you what happened here. Let me point this out, because the guy's got a good point. Rodney said words, and those words were things that this guy liked. And when this guy likes words, then those words are truthies. And if you don't know what truthies are, those are thingy things that are goody goods. So I just want to help you guys understand. Thingy things that are goody goods are the thingy things that TN Lights likes, because woo, here we go. But let's do point this out. The hit networks are criminals that tried to steal a company from somebody. So you can like it, you can don't like it. And by the way, employees don't make the decision. The owner makes the decision. The minority owner is attempting to steal the company, and that's okay, because guess what? It's going to be just fine. You see me smiling today, right? Spoiler alert. I've been on the phone with Ben for a while today. I do know what I do know a little something. And all I'm going to ask, TJ, Lady Frame, my lady man, polish everything up in my office. You know what I mean? Because Daddy might need that shit. You know what I'm saying? But not that assistant. Gross. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. Come on now. Gross. Anyway, so let's go over here, and because this is important to TN Lights. Ben got so destroyed that he's tripling Discover Crypto in views. Ben got so destroyed by Rodney that he's tripling them in views. TN Lights, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Nobody has any respect for that. Okay. So you can say all you want. You can do all you want. You can have the best time of your life, but your best time in your life probably going to have to be in last place. Because it's going to be all good, baby. Unless you're getting paid by hitting networks. And if you are getting paid in networks, what are you doing watching me? But make sure that you subscribe to the channel. $4.99 a month. You know what? Become an ultimate believer. $99.99 a month. Anybody else can do that as well. So yeah, it's gonna be okay. One of the best things about this, and about one of the best things about this position, is that you can't steal a company from somebody. And here's the thing: if Ben decides that he doesn't want it anymore because for some reason, I'm not staking any claim to it, but if for some reason Ben Armstrong Crypto Show has $1 million or something like that, $1 million a month, something like that. If for any reason, any of that happens, right? Then they're still going to owe him the money. And if they can't pay him, then they're going to make like a tree and get the fuck out of the office. And polish up that turd. The head of content creation, put him in the bag, stuff him in the box, take him out too. Do all you got to do. But we'll have that interview tomorrow, and you guys will be able to hear me asking the hardest. I'm going to ask the absolute hardest question. Ben, what's it like being so awesome? What's it like being better than TN Lights? What's it like driving around in a Lamborghini? What's it like having a $2 million house? What's it like having your uncle living in a $3.2 million house that you paid for? What's it like? TN Lights, he wants to know, because he, like them cagey chicks in South Park, is jelly. What's going on, Sheldon Nelson? I'm just having a little fun with my man TN Lights here. He hasn't subscribed to the channel yet, so he doesn't. I can't be on his side because he doesn't give me anything here. He just bitches and moans and cries and like, wah, I don't like Ben because Ben, he talks mean. Well, guess what? Talking mean isn't a reason to not have a company. Borrowing against a bored ape, that doesn't look optimal to me, but not a reason to lose your entire company. Haha. There we go. Zoe says, bleeds. I don't mind that Ben is gay. It's no problem for me. I'm just happy he's honest and truthful. So there you go. If Ben decides that that's what he wants to do, awesome. So Lambo Wath stolen Ben coin funds. Oh, Jesus Christ. This guy is really... Guys, I would like to ask for just a moment here, and I'm going to take that down because we got to talk seriously. Could I, if I'm asking you guys, and I'm not going to put it up for a vote, I'm just going to ask you to type in here yes or no. Can we create a crypto wallet to put TN Lights through like middle school or something? Could we do that? Could we do that? Subscribe for a long time. I know you personally. Oh my God, it's my brother. Oh my God, it's my brother. My brother works for Hit Networks. That's crazy. Anyway, it's okay because you can not like him and I can like him. And here's me and Rodney talking about him. Here's me and Rodney. Here's me making the meme for Rodney today. As Rodney's talking shit about him because it's okay. It's not serious business. We pick a side. We root for our team. Sometimes our team doesn't win, but it's okay. It's absolutely okay. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. That's not a thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. By the way, guys, just so you know, TN Lights, Zoe Gilda, they do the same thing. I assume both of them are Nick DeMonte, or maybe it's TJ. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're in the office together, doing whatever they do. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. It's a different world nowadays. You can do whatever you want. Two consenting men in their room, a Tricky and a Nicky, can do whatever they want to do while they're alone in their rooms with Satan. You know what I mean? It's okay. Well, good for you, man. So anyway, so let's get into it. Let's get into what is going on over here. Let me remind you though, that Ben Armstrong, the brand new show, is dominating, destroying, and utterly annihilating Discover Crypto. Like, oh my God, is it embarrassing yet? Hey, let me tell you something. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I don't care though. Like for real. Like I don't care. Cut your hair. You know what I mean? Do something with it. Get a mohawk. Get a mohawk tomorrow morning. Show it to me on the live stream, and then we'll talk. But really, like, imagine this. Imagine this. The hit networks are performing so poorly at what they are doing that they picked a different time slot because they couldn't keep up with the heat on Ben Armstrong. So what did they do? Right here. Fun fact. The Ben Armstrong Crypto Show at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is suddenly running unopposed in the time slot previously occupied by the Hit Network show, which has apparently gotten scared to compete and moved to 10:30 a.m. Let's pull this up here again. But you have the Discovery Channel talking smack. Listen, here's the thing, right? As you continue down the path in the island of irrelevancy, it's okay. It's okay. Because look, we're all struggling out here, right? Look, I have days like today because I'm not talking about, and by the way, I am talking about Ben, but you see my title up here, trading in the bear market, because I didn't want to talk about Ben. I didn't want to have a conversation about that because really I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't really care. What I care about is you guys learning and getting educated and getting a little bit better at doing some trading. So, but I digress. We've gotten far away from where we were going to start, right? We've gotten far away from that because you guys are poor fans and sore losers, but losers nonetheless. Like what kind of company is so scared of Ben Armstrong that they come out and say that they're not scared of Ben Armstrong? However, they change their schedule so that they're not going against Ben Armstrong. Like, wow. Like, wow. And if it's as Zoe says, and Ben is gay, you guys are getting punched around and beat up by a gay guy. That's awesome. You guys, let me tell you something. You're progressive. You guys are so progressive. I bet you voted for Bernie. It's still okay. It's still okay. You know what I mean? It's still okay. And let's just say, Zoe, by the way, that in the event you're not, but in the event that you were Nick DeMonte, you lie too. So it's okay. I don't care. Everybody's a liar. Did Ben tell me everything? Of course not. Ben's not going to tell me everything. Did you tell me everything? No, of course not. You don't tell me anything because you don't know me, because, I mean, and, Lady Frame, come on. But I don't really care at the end. I chose a side, and I chose a side because this side was being stolen from by a bunch of chicks. I want to say. I mean, maybe not. I'm sure. Hey, look, I'm sure compared to those, trans swimmers, you guys are still dudes. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure you put your pants on each other one leg at a time. when you're done with whatever, look, here's the thing, right? I don't care. The company to me was stolen from Ben Armstrong, and I will support him as he gets it back. Will I support him after that? Maybe, probably. I could, because I actually like the guy. I don't have a problem with him, but it's okay because at the end of the day, I would rather go with Ben than a bunch of thieves, right? As a matter of fact, let me show you just in case you want to know. Let's pull this up, give you guys the little nugget that you've been waiting for. Here's my invite to Around the Blockchain because you guys are trying to get me on the show. So talk what you want, but 3 days ago, I got an email that I'm ignoring from somebody I like asking about me coming on the show. Spoiler alert, I'm not going on the show. I'm not going on the show. But I appreciate the fact that you reached out. I appreciate the fact that you wanted me on the show. That's okay. I appreciate that. Rodney will be on there. You guys had a couple people on there on Friday, and you had Rodney in the studio. Rodney be fine. Just not me. It's just not for me. And by the way, I want to add here, Ben hasn't done anything for me. Nothing special. In fact, I want to say, I'm guessing here. I'm guessing, and I don't know for sure. So I'm going to say this without knowing. It is entirely possible that Discover Crypto, if I had just shut my mouth a long time ago or played the game with them, maybe they'd be paying me right now. Maybe I'd be the new BitBoy. Maybe I'd be doing that kind of stuff. Maybe I'd be doing all that kind of stuff, right? Like it is entirely possible that they would have put me in front of a camera and let me just run with it and have a little bit of fun. It's entirely possible. But I chose my side. And I don't stab my friends in the back. I don't stab my friends in the front either. And if he says, I would like you to not go on there and I would like you to not do anything with them for right now, then okay. Now, that being said, I could have used the check. I'll be honest with you there. But it still doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter. What matters is when I have somebody who I like that is going through something, it's irresponsible and it's stupid for me to abandon them. And even though I disagree with Rodney's assessment of Ben, I'm going to stand by Rodney too. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't really matter. And look, there are people that I don't have problem with. Like, I've never had a problem with DZ. I'm not friends with DZ, but if I were friends with DZ and the same situation came up, I would have his back too. Because it's more important to have your friends back than it is to find a way to profit, to whatever it is is the worst part of cryptocurrency. But anyway, so let's get into the news. Let's get into what's going on. Let's get into, I'm tired of dog walking the Discovery Channel because goddamn, like it's gotta suck. It's gotta suck to know that you went from like 5,000 views to a couple hundred. Like nobody cares anymore. Everybody's moved on to another brighter star. It's crazy. But Bleeves, what will you do when you find out your friend stabbed you? Then I won't be friends with the person anymore, and then I would move on. That's pretty simple. But when I see it happen, that's when I'll make that decision. I won't live my life worrying about that because that's what babies do and little girls do, and I'm not either. So it'll be okay. It'll be okay. So Bitcoin price prediction as ex-BlackRock director. This is getting good here. And we got a couple things on Bitcoin that are coming right here. It says the Bitcoin ETF is coming in 3 to 6 months. Can Bitcoin reach 100,000? The answer to that, if we get Bitcoin approval on the ETF, is probably not until the halving, right? I don't think that This is a very interesting time, and there's a very interesting dynamic that's playing out. But I don't think that there's any opportunity, any way to create some situation in which we get to 100,000. Like I just don't. I think it would take retail coming in, and I think that even if BlackRock throws its hat into the ring and ERC-21, they changed the dynamic. However, I don't think they changed the dynamic enough that it brings in enough retail to take it to 100,000. That's a lot. That's a tall ask right now. If you consider that the last time we got to $69,000 Bitcoin, the market was 3 trillion, then you're asking for at least a $4 trillion market, or you're asking for a $3 trillion market with a $2,000 Ethereum. And that is going to be a disaster, even if Bitcoin starts mooning. So I don't think that plays out as well as could be expected. So I don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think that it's realistic. But moving on here, crypto analyst says Bitcoin ready to target new highs, warns of Chainlink final correction. Now, what I told you guys today was what was going to happen. And you know what? We got lucky. It did happen. So what I said that we were going after the liquidity, that the liquidity was going to be in, let me pull up the heat map for you. The heat map has changed dramatically, though, by the way. So when we're looking at this, it's going to be just slightly different as you look at it right now. And what we did is we came up in here where I said we would go to around 28. I said 28.50 would be about the spot. Well, we ended up wicking out at 28.107. So we ended up at 28.107. So it did wick up just a little bit higher than what I said. But you know what? If I can give you a $50 variance, then you just made out. And then what did I say? I posted on Twitter this morning that once we hit here, that the likely play, that the way that it was going to go was then back down to the next liquidity pool. And that liquidity pool was located at 27,300 all the way down into that range. And where did we go? We went to 27,317. So within $17 is where we called it, right? Now, this is exactly what I posted. And by the way, if you haven't already, at BLEEVESCRYPTO, follow me on X if you want to get all the details and all the sweet knowledge. But here it is right here. About 10 hours ago, I said, so Bitcoin just swept the liquidity to 28.1. Next up might be 27.3. Credit to CoinGlass for the map. CoinGlass was the one that gave us the map so that we could check it out. But here it is. And I told you guys exactly what was going to happen. So if you want to follow me on X, where we're making some of these predictions and stuff like that, then that's what you do. But it's a derivatives market. When it's a derivatives market, and that's where the money is coming from, then you do have to take into account some of this stuff. Now, the question becomes, where are we going to go now? Well, let's go to the week, and we look at the week number. We're looking at the pool. The easiest pool is probably going to be at that 27.1 area. The 24-hour right here, however. So let's look at this one real quick, and you see that the easiest level is about 27,000. I want to say 27,750. So I would venture to say that we would have a quick move up to 27,750, and then a move back down here into 27.1, sweeping our way. Now, when I come out to the 3-day, the 3-day changes it just a little bit more, and it says that we probably are going to come down into this level. But this is still sitting out here as the I want to call it the easiest way to get to the biggest level of liquidity, which is in that 27,756 range. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Fairdesk, and we just went back into a long on Fairdesk, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take we're going to set it at 27,750. 27,750 is going to be where we knock this one out right now. We're down 266, by the way, because I got in a little bit hotter than I anticipated when I was doing it. And guys, spoiler alert, I set this goddamn thing up without realizing that I couldn't do two at a time. So what I was doing was I was trying to do a short on Bitcoin and a long on Bitcoin at the same time. And I know I'm working against myself, but I thought I had enough leeway that I could do both, and that I can make money on one, pull profit on one, and then wait for the other one to kind of play itself out. And what it did instead is it merged it all together, which was stupid, but that's what it did. So Now I'm just waiting for that move up here. So 27,750 is where we're going to take the profit, and that is, we'll leave that to run right now. 27,750 right here. Then 27.1 would be the likely play out, or it's going to just do that right now. So there we go. That's the idea behind it. Now, moving on to this, time to pull the brakes on Ethereum and rotate back to Bitcoin is what K33 senior analyst Vettel Lundi says. The lackluster performance of 9 new Ether futures exchange traded funds has prompted analysts at K33 Research to urge a rotate back into Bitcoin. In an October 3rd market report, analysts Anders Helseth and Vetle Lund said that it's time to pull the brakes on Ethereum and rotate back to Bitcoin, with the initial trading volume of ETH futures only accounting for 0.2 of what the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF amassed on its first day of trading in October 2021. So while the analysis noted that no one expected to see initial trading volume on the ETH futures come anywhere close to that of the Bitcoin futures ETF, this was strong. This is underwhelmingly and strongly missing expectations. So they're saying that there is not a thirst right now for Ethereum. However, remember, there were catalysts. There is a lot of liquidity in Bitcoin or in Ethereum right now. There is a lot of staking going on, and there is a lot of whale buying going on, which would indicate to me that there is going to be a push. And if you look at the chart for Bitcoin or Ethereum, I just said Bitcoin again. God damn it. For Ethereum, then the argument was that it was on its way to about 2,000, up to that 2027 mark. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't really see it. I just hear it from people. I hear that this seems to be the play, and the logic on it makes sense. But I do have to look at it and come up with, is that really the play? Now, here's why I think that it could have a nice little run. And this is, we're on a short time frame, but we've got a big green candle going right now, which means that we should be seeing some sort of upside. Now, confirm that with Bitcoin. We got the same thing playing out. So I think we've got to move to the upside coming from Bitcoin. Now let's move out to the 4-hour to get another estimate here. And we're seeing the same thing. And then with Ethereum on the 4-hour, the exact same thing, only more aggressive playing out. So I would think that that's what we're going to see play out. But you come over here and you see that on the Ethereum daily chart, we're not exactly there yet. We've still got a red minted up here on the top. And on Bitcoin, same thing. We still got a red minted up on the top. So on the daily, we're feeling a little bit weaker. But on the shorter times, then we're looking pretty bullish right now. And then if we go to the 30-minute, the magic number right now, look at what's going on the 30-minute right here. Like, we are looking like we are just ready for a takeoff. Like, that's a really good sign here that all of this, we're really just looking at some pretty bullish sentiments right now on the 30 minutes. And 30 minutes, like if you're trading, like you do want to use the 30 minutes, just like you would use the hour. So it really looks like we probably got a nice little breakout underway, or at least the start of a little breakout. And we've got a bullish divergence happening with it coming down here and then coming up here. So it looks like the potential exists for a little breakout. Now, over the last hour or so, we're up $2.3 billion, up $2.8 billion, I mean, in market cap. So, by the way, the Bears just scored again. It's 27-3 going into halftime. And how can the Bears screw this up again is now the question. Remember, the Bears were up 28-7 early in the third quarter against the Denver Broncos, I want to say last week, and they found a way to lose. So I'm going to be interested to see what the second half holds, and will the Bears actually make some adjustments, or will they still continue on the same plan that will be schemed against in the second half, and will they wreck themselves by not performing? It's always interesting to see how that plays out. But so that's what I think is going to happen. And I'm going to stick with Solana. By the way, Solana having a nice little move. Remember, we had this conversation earlier this morning, and it was, and then it dipped like the rest of the market from where we were talking right around here, came back down. Now it's having a nice little reversal. So I think BNB also going to have a reversal. I think Matic didn't really have as much of a a hedge as we got on the rest of it. But we are headed, I'm sure, pretty much sure. Let me rephrase that. You never really know what's going to happen, but it looks like we're headed back up. Treasury yields, by the way, 4.72. They were 4.73 this morning, even though this does say up 0.01. It was 4.80 2 days ago. So 4.73 yesterday or this morning, 4.7. Excuse me, 4.726 tonight. So we'll see how that plays out. And then we're going to just pay attention to the DXY, which was coming down, and we saw a reversal. This is the 30-minute chart. On the hour chart, we still have a reversal. So we are bouncing, by the way, off of the support line, which, of course, because that's what we do on the predictive ranges. And it's minted a green diamond at the bottom of this chart, meaning that we've got a bullish divergence. We've got, and it's a big bullish divergence, and it looks like we could have a massive move coming back on the DXY. If we do, then expect these bond yields to go up even more. And if they go up even more, then the likelihood for Bitcoin becomes downside instead of upside. So the hope here for me would be, let's get back to the point of control, which is going to be 27,756. That's the move. If we can get into this range, it's going to be just a little bit of profit, but it'll be profit nonetheless. We'll take it right there. We'll clear it out, and then we'll wait for a move up here or down here before we start to enter another position right now. And I do want to add, as soon as I got off with you guys, I was put in a position where I had to second guess myself, and I'm going to tell you guys what happened. So when I get a moment and I get done, Crypto Cappy came in from Texas. What is going on, my guys? Let me know where you are from, by the way. Let's do that one more time. Tell me where you're from in the comments. Let's see where everybody is. And if you haven't already, make sure that you hit the like button. Let's get back over there. So I was God damn it, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So I was watching after I got done, I had to do some stuff. And then I had to go to, then I went to see Miss Teen Crypto. Nothing was really going on there. Just, Bitcoin. And then I went over to Sam Price, Crypto Lifer, and I went to check Crypto Lifer. And Crypto Lifer was telling me the opposite of what I was telling you. He was saying, "Oh, we're getting ready to bounce," and he says it in the radio DJ voice, like, "We're getting ready for the big bounce. Here we go. It's getting ready to happen right now. Holla, holla, holla." And we're getting ready to take off. And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, this is not going to end well. Like, am I wrong about this? Am I screwing this completely up?" Which is why I said I was going to go both directions. I was like, you know what? I'll take a shot with him. I got an extra little bit laying on the side. I'll go ahead and I'll do whatever it was. We got South Florida in the house. We got East Tennessee in the house. David, are you TN Lights? Ooh, BitBoy down under in Australia, Pennsylvania. We've got Pittsburgh in the house. We got Minneapolis, Minnesota. We got CEO of Muskville in the house. Seiko Hunt still lives in his mom's basement in Cali next to his sister. And his sister, her name is Bertha. We got Pittsburgh, PA in the house. We've got Oman in the house. Oh man, Oman. I appreciate you, man. I 100% appreciate you so much. Watching from Singapore right now, watching from New Zealand, New Jersey, Riverside, California. We got New Jersey. We got Florida in the house. Florida might as well be Oman. We got, what else do we got here? We got Washington in the house. I know that you're not, man. I know that you're not. And by the way, just because I'm an asshole to, like hit network people and stuff like that, does not mean that I would think that you guys should be either. So, and to look, it's fun and games because we're on the internet and it's not real. But look, I would probably sit down and sharpen an axe with Nick DeMondi. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't like him, but I would at least listen to him or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so, and the same thing for TJ. I wouldn't drink in front of him because then I'd be like, "You look pretty in them jeans." You know what I mean? What's he gonna do? And then Texas State University in the house. I love you, Bleeves. I love me too. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we've got Washington in the house. Niners will win the Super Bowl. It looks like that right now. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. if you are a football fan and you are picking the 49ers right now, you are out of your goddamn mind, okay? Because the first part of the season is never the best indicator. It's who after at the midway point, when you're who finishes strong is going to matter. Now, if the 49ers are the best team and they show an enormous amount of depth and they can stay relatively healthy at the skill positions and they can keep their line intact for the most part, then sure. But that usually doesn't happen. The Patriots were damn lucky for all those years. And to be fair here, you know what? Cleveland Browns have looked like a really good team. Miami was looking like a great team until, because you score 70 points on somebody and you think that what a great team, what a good job they're doing. So there's plenty of different teams out there that have an opportunity, but it's how you finish. And here's the other part, right? You got to remember. God damn it, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Jesus fucking Christ! Please, what is wrong with you, you son of a bitch? Dallas Cowboys have a legitimate shot this year. The Dallas Cowboys are a team to beat. So I just feel like it's too early to say. If I were forced to make a prediction right now, God damn it, I would take a come up. I would take somebody like I wouldn't take Cleveland because I don't think Cleveland has it in them to win the whole thing yet. But I'd be super excited to see something like that happen. That would be amazing because I lived in Cleveland for a while, so I would just be ecstatic to see Cleveland Browns win the Super Bowl. But I also feel like it's nice to win that game, and I think Deshaun Watson, by the way, I would think that I would think Deshaun Watson, he's a killer. Like I'm telling you what, man, I was so mad that the Bears took Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson would have overcome whatever the coaching staff did, and I mean, he had his problems, and he's been he put himself in some bad situations, but I really would say, like at this point, I'm going to say go long on the Cowboys. Like I look, guys, I just so you guys understand, in real life, I send out memes of Stephen A. Smith laughing at Cowboy fans because I don't have a problem with the Cowboys, but Cowboy fans are like New York Yankees fan. They're just insufferable shits most of the time that are just obnoxious to listen to, and I don't want to hear it because they're, the hard part with the Yankees is, I mean, what is it, 26 titles? Like you really can't say too much about the Yankees, but the Yankees, I mean, the Cowboys are not in the same league as the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like the only thing that corresponds to the Yankees, maybe the Patriots. I want to say like maybe, but the Cowboys. No, Cowboys though. Like I mean, I think everybody deep down really kind of wants to see the Cowboys succeed, and I think maybe this might be the year. And Tony P says Eagles. That might be not even a sleeper at this point. I'm not the biggest fan of Jalen Hurts. However, he has he that Mong hairdo and all that kind of shit that he used to have. Like, oh my God, what was wrong with his head? But I mean the Eagles, you never know. So yeah, I would. El Cruz is a Cowboy fan, and again, like David Wright is from Moorhead, Kentucky. I'm originally from Louisville, so there you go. If you like Kentucky Wildcats, kiss my ass. Louisville Cardinals all the way. L1C4 baby. Let's make that happen. What do I think about Dork Lord token? I don't think about. So I think most of these tokens like this are pump and dumps and just I don't know that Dork Lord has like a utility set up for it or a function yet. I don't give it too much because you have to go through your little run up and then what happens afterwards. So I'm not too sure about it. I predicted exactly when it was going to pump. I predicted exactly when it was going to dump, but I was just doing that because it was speculative at that point. So since then, I haven't really touched it and I haven't really looked at it. So I really couldn't give you an honest assessment of it. But for me, it was done a while back. And like, look, some of these things, by the way, they're going to recover. Like if you got in at a low market cap, like you didn't buy in at the top or anything, you're not sitting on a bag way down. And if you're only down like say 50% or something like that, that's worth the risk to just kind of sit in it and say, you know what, let's give it a shot and see what happens. But I think it's going to be a while before we really see like a reversal on anything. So that just take that with a grain of smack, I guess. All right, so we got Bitcoin pumping. We're up another $1 billion in market cap, so we're getting up there. Are we sweeping that liquidity? Do you think we're sweeping the liquidity? Do you think we're going to come up here and we're going to hit this, or do you think we're going to reverse back down? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are we going to 27.7 first, or are we going to go to 27.1? 27.7 first or 27.1 is the question. Like, which one do you think we're going to do? I think we're going to go to 27.7 first, around that 27.750 mark, and then we're going to have a big reversal and come down here into this 27.1, maybe even a little bit lower. That's the 3-day number, by the way. 24-hour number. 24-hour number gives me, by the way, when we look at it from a 24-hour, you can see right here, like this number in here, this all the way up to 27.75. That is way more likely because look how it's moving. Like we're snaking our way up into this range, and then the easiest thing is to drop it back down into this range. So now the question becomes, which one of these paths are we going to take? I would like to say, based on the position that I took, that it's going to be the 27.750, and then immediately from that 27.750, it's coming back down. On the 12-hour, if you look at it, it's getting even closer and closer and closer. And look how much liquidity is just kind of sitting in that little range right there. So, you know, this thing is probably going to play out that way. On the 1 week chart, let's look at the 1 week to get an idea of what it's kind of playing out as. So the likelihood lowers when I look at it this way, by the way. So I do want to stress that, except that it looks easier to grab this at 27.751 and then come down and grab it 27.150, basically. So what I would expect would be another move into this, but not nearly as much. However, it's closer. So what I'm looking for always is what's the closest pie. And remember, when it's derivatives, there's a fight going back and forth, right? The bulls and the bears are fighting, and it looks like the bears are conceding at this point to come up into this range. And I should point out, by the way, that the bears are bulls sometimes, and the bulls are bears sometimes. Tony P says 27.801. And you know what? That's fair enough. I'm going to stick with 27.750. 27.750 is the number that I'm going to look for on this next move right now. So it does look like money is still slowly trickling in. We'll probably see a pullback once we hit 4 trillion or 4 billion. At 4 billion, we'll probably come back down to about 3.8, 3.7, and then maybe start to see it just be nice to see it take off and actually get a big run, like one of those epic sort of runs up to like 28, 29. You know, if I see some momentum and I start to see Bitcoin start piling up, then what you're going to see is my ass flip over, and I'll be changing my stop loss all the way there. But I think it's safe to say, like, guys, if you're making a play, the safe play right here is 27.750. Don't go beyond that one, because here's the thing. On the 1 week, this is a dry pull past 27 right now. So come down to the 3-day, dry pull past 27.750. 24-hour, dry pull past 27.750. You got to get into 28,000 before you get into more liquidity here, and there's a lot more here than there is there. So that is, and by the way, this is Binance, just so you guys know. If I do, we can come over here and we can try any other place, but I mean, really, other than Binance and Bybit, what else is there? You know what I mean? So 12-hour, basically showing me the same on Bybit. 24-hour, basically showing me the same, a little bit less liquidity there, but a big pull up here at 28.2 on Bybit. And Bybit, by the way, if you come over here, if you're ever wondering like which exchanges do derivatives the most, come over here to trading volume, and it is all about Binance, OKX, Bitmart, Weeks, and Bybit. Those are the big ones. So you can come down here and you can see that there are some nice ones out there, right? But when it comes to derivatives trading, it's basically Binance, OKX, Bitmart, Weeks. I don't even know who Weeks is, by the way. That's a new one to me. But Bybit, I feel like would be in the top 5. It's in the top 5, but my point being that there's a big pool right here in a big exchange. So let's go back and let's compare that one to OKX on the 24-hour. We've got the same thing kind of built up on the 24-hour there. And then on Binance, let's go back and look at this one more time. So Binance is giving us a differing look at what's happening here. So let's take a shot at BitGet and see how BitGet's trading. Okay, so BitGet is doing the same thing. So let me clear my throat here. All right, guys, let's take one more shot at this just to be safe here. First of all, the liquidity obviously is sitting at 27,750 on all exchanges. On USDT, by the way, we're not using USD because we're not monkeys. We could do this like grown-ups. But the big liquidity on Binance is also at 28.2. Guys, okay. Oh, motherfucker. All right, so let's go. I'm going to break this out just a little bit further. I'm going to go back to 3-day, and we're going to look at the 3-day one more time. So the 3-day breakout on Binance on the USD is not nearly as clear and drawn out. So Binance has a big pool right there, and then down here, and then that area right there, and then Bybit has not nearly as much on 3-day. Okay, so I'm going to stand by what I said in looking at some of those. I'm going to stand by where I was. Now, OKX does have, what's the volume on OKX? OKX is number 2 at 10 billion. So, okay, 27,750, and then we're probably coming back down here for a liquidity sweep because there is a lot down here. If this plays out and we don't break down, and then then there's a move up to 28,003. That looks like the logical move from this point. Like, does anybody disagree with me on this? Because those liquidity sweeps looked a little bit, that's a little bit weird in those positions. And thank you for the $5 bomb. BitBoy says no surprises there. We all know that network is just mostly left. They have no ethics and no news you can trust anymore. And look. I don't want to talk bad about them because I'm just kidding. I do. I really do. I'm just kidding. But I'm not going to call them losers. I'm going to say these are businessmen that did not like the way Ben did business, and the fact that Ben would not do things that they wanted them to do. There are people, by the way, who are out here who are telling you right now. There are people out here telling you right now that, like Rodney, my man Rodney was telling you that all of these guys are nice guys, and I told Rodney because he called me, and we talked about this, and I said, you know what, I would agree. I would probably like everybody there. Like, I probably don't have a problem with anybody there because we're all that way. Like, we're not held hostage. Like, we joke about that. Maybe they're not held, quote unquote, hostage, but that's not the point. The point is, and what he said was that that some of those people were just glad that things are different because BitBoy is sometimes overbearing as a boss. Like, he wants things a certain way. He's very pushy. He yells a lot. And I mean, look, guys, I'm going to show you something here. And I think that I'm going to go back and I'm going to redress this thing one more time. And I think you guys should look at it. And I think I'm just going to give you guys a little piece of what I think. And then I'm going to do it with a visual here so that you can see it, because that way it's not unclear, right? And I'm going to go to the last video with Ben Armstrong, okay? I'm going to go to the last live stream that had Ben Armstrong in it, and that's before this major announcement, right? Here we go. Now, I'm going to stop it right there. Now, this is clear. The rundown, the market watch, the Jackson's Hole, the XRP trial, Bitcoin options, everything about this is easy to read. It's clear. It's concise. It's exactly what you would expect. It's very simple here, right? Like, this is, and we're going to stop that right there. But that's very, very clear, and you can see it. Now, the moment he's gone, The very next day. I got to think that there's no way in hell that Ben said, we got to do this. We got to move up here to that's, oh, shit. We're using a Ben one. All right, here we go. Yeah, so now they're, oh, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to change everything. And then I want you to look at this. They said, the best move that we could possibly make, would be turn this shit all red. Like, guys, are you kidding me? This is what we had here. Something that was clear and easy to read, that was concise, that you could understand. And then we have it. Don't even worry about the fact that there's no stake or anything like that, because I'm not talking about sponsors or anything like that. Somebody who's in charge of making shit look pleasant and pleasing to people turned this sidebar with all of the rundown into this dog shit right here, red and black and stuff like that. That's beyond bizarre. Somebody in charge. I want you guys to think about that. Somebody in charge, somebody that they pay money to, said, hey, you know how this shit's really easy to read and easy on the eyes? Let's do something different. Are you wondering why they're losing subscribers other than Ben leaving? Come on. Like, somebody there has to be able to look at somebody and say, this stupid thing was your idea. And that right there, by the way, was Ben Armstrong. And that Ben Armstrong not being there, now they've got this ridiculous color scheme that's just abhorrent. It's horrible. It's disgusting. And I cannot imagine that somebody looked at that and said, that's a great idea. And then TJ, like TJ had to look at that and he yeah, you know what? Yeah, it should be bright red with like gray on the back, and then we should have blue on the top. That would be so awesome, bro. Like, there's no way that a responsible adult male looked at that and said, yeah, it's a great idea. That's ridiculous. So, unless they don't care about people, and that's all I'm saying. Unless you don't care about what your fans think, because if your fans liked it, they'd still be there, right? I mean, and be honest with yourself about that. If they liked it, they would still be there, and they'd be like, you know what, I'm just going to keep giving this a chance, because no, look, even it's unappealing on the eyes, and it could be that I got, horrible eyes or something like that, sure, but that is garbage. And somebody approved that, and then somebody up at the top said, you know what, let's just go with that. That's going to be awesome, bro. No, it's not going to be awesome. That's ridiculous. So, yeah. Anyway, crypto options prevail amid depressed futures and perpetual trading. Look, what we're getting right here is lower perpetual futures volume, 22% quarter on quarter for the entire derivatives market due to lack of direction and volatility. So what you're finding out and what you're now seeing on this is that even the derivatives market is starting to buckle under the pressure of no action in the crypto market. So a lot of stuff going on. And then finally, Avalanche sets a record 577,000 daily transactions triggered by new social media platform stars Arena. Now, I'm going to take a shot, by the way. I'm not going to do it today. If I get, if this long plays out the way that I hope that it will, if it does play out, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the profits from that and I'm going to move them over into Avalanche, because I think that Avalanche, with all of these transactions, with everything that's going on there, is probably going to play out pretty well. So, and by the way, just so you guys know, after not scoring an entire touchdown, the Washington, what the hell is their name now? The Washington Commanders have now scored a touchdown. They are coming back on the Bears. You can't make this up. You can't make this up, guys. But the Avalanche sees record 577,000 daily transactions, which is a new record for them. So I would get a feeling here and just an idea that Avalanche might have a move. So I'm going to take the profits off of this long if it plays out, and then I'm going to put those profits into Avalanche, and I'm going to do a spot long, or not, I'm going to do a spot. Jesus Christ. I'm going to do a long, and just like 5x leverage. I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to do a 5x leverage, and then I'm going to see where Avalanche goes. So I think it was trading at about $10. I want to say. a little bit earlier today because I got one because I have an account with them now, and it's 1019. Yeah, so it's already starting to pump here. You can see a little bit. So it is getting a little bit of a pump on in the last 48 hours, and that the Avalanche. I don't remember what it's called. It's called Star Arena. It's called Star Arena. But that's starting to I think it's starting to move the price here. And I mean, let's face it. You come back here. Remember what happened over here with Veracity. Veracity went from, not having a good run. Let's go back to the day chart. Veracity had not seen a price like this since April of this year earlier, and came all the way up here. This was, April 20th. So if we come over here and just kind of eyeball it and try to come up with, well, where do we think Avalanche is going to go? If we go back to April over here, then April over here, it was trading at like $18. So we're looking at like an 80% run on Avalanche if Avalanche has a breakout because of Star Arena. And if you want to know what Star Arena looks like, let's go over here and I'll show you what it looks like right now. Apparently, no, I can't because, there we go. Yeah, you go to, so Star Arena, you can check that out right there. It's very simple, very, it's not that good, but, throw some stuff up there, see what happens. Join Star Arena. If you join Star Arena, follow me at BelieveScrypto, and buy some shit from me or whatever. I don't know how any of this is done. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Now into the rest of the market over here. MUSK 7210 had a little sell off. I don't know who sold. Who gives a shit, right? But we've had some good amount of buys and bounced off of the top of that breakout. So maybe we are using that as support, and maybe this means that there is a breakout coming. But we did have a little bit of sell-off, not too much. But by the way, I did sell twice today because I needed to put like $300 in because we're going to pay for something tomorrow that we're going to do. So just in case you're tracking, I did one sale of like 2 million tokens, and then I did the same thing after it pumped back up again. I don't remember what wallet it is. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, D862 I think is me. So we did 2 million here, and then we did D862 like a little bit later on. Yeah, right here. So I sold 2 million each time, and that got 0.09, like 0.2 ETH is basically what it came down to, or thereabouts. So it's like $350, I want to say, something like that, because we're gonna. I mean, maybe it's 320 now, but it's 320 now, but it was meant to be like 350. So what we're looking to do is maybe do a call channel or something like that. So I wanted to make sure we had a few $100 to start the morning off, to do something with it, just so we can have a little bit of fun, because we are going to be on with Ben Armstrong. So that should be a lot of fun. We got a big announcement. We got a big announcement this Saturday for Volt from Voltoshi. Could be Spark. All right, and as far as pre-sales go, I don't really do so here's the deal, right? So the reason that I don't take tokens from people on these things for most of these buy-ins, I gotta be honest, guys. I don't take tokens from people like that because what I don't want to see happen is I like when I buy, I can't sell. Otherwise, you guys are assholes to me. Like for example, if if I sold my Volt tokens, then people would be like, "Oh, he fucking sold." You know what I mean? And I don't need that kind of shit in my life. So I prefer to get paid in USDC, USDT, anything other than like native tokens. And then if I get into a project, even if I'm not like even if you don't hook me up or anything, like if you're not like if I'm not partnered with you, I'm not sponsored or anything like that. Like, by the way, the wonderful channel partners that we have here, Gate.io, would certainly help me out, guys, if you take the time to sign up at Gate.io under my affiliate link in the description down below. And NordVPN, I still need 21 signups. Nobody's signed up so far this month. You guys must be saving it for somebody else, you nerds. But anyway, yeah, New World Finance. I don't know what that is. I think maybe I think maybe somebody there thought it would be awesome to do something with like New World Order, because that's what it is. It's the NWO. That the Hulk Hogan. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall thing. So I think that that's what the idea was, because if you look at it, then it was NWF, but it was using the NWO, the WCW NWO font. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's a great idea, or I don't think it's a catchy thing. But you know, yeah. And yeah, Dondo, I don't think that's actually true, because I think a lot of people are waiting for something for Volt for a catalyst. So I want to say that we'll probably see. I don't know. I think that you would be right that we're not going to see a gigantic move, but I would also venture to say that when I was looking at the charts earlier on Volt, I actually think Volt was primed for a move. I usually don't use these, so hold on one second. Volt is at 23.54 right now, and in fact, I did say that I think that Volt is primed for a move to this new value area up here at 25. But if it breaks into this 25, then I thought that there could be a move all the way up to. Give me a second here to find it. I want to say it was 35. Let me get to the 4 hour. Maybe the 4 hour is the key here. Yeah, 55 right here. So there could be a breakout that leads up into the 3,000 level, and then around the 4,000 level, and then I think it would run up into like 55. And I think that the top on it right now would probably be in that 55 range, right about here. So that was the number that I was looking at, and it was actually just a little bit lower, but right about there. I think that's the possible spot where the thing breaks out. So that's at best, I think, where it's going to go. And then I think it would have, after it had a nice little run like that, popping a bam, and then probably coming back down into this range in the 3,000 level, because that would be about a 60. That's about a 40% retracement back down, put you at the 0.618 line on a fib retracement after a breakout. So that would be what I would think is the likely play out in a best case scenario. Bitcoin is breaking out a little bit here, guys, 4.8, 4.9. So we did break over 4, and we do seem to be having that little move that I was talking about. Would be nice to see. So hopefully we can get in. Matter of fact, let's pull this out just a little bit and see. Whoops. Can we confirm right in this range? It really looks like we're going to get into that range. So it looks like the money is there. It looks like the possibility certainly exists that we could punch into 27.75. That looks like a very interesting area to the derivatives traders right now. So if we get into 27.750, I would be on the lookout for a move back to the downside. So we get up in here, reject off of the point of control. This is where you take your profit, by the way. Now, once you do that, then we have to look at the liquidation heat map, and where do we go? Well, the next move would be to 28,000, and then it would be 28,300. That's about 800 points, 700 points from where it is, or a fall all the way back down into this 27,130 level, and with the shorter time frames showing after that liquidity right here, the easiest path is probably back to the downside. So it's easier to short than it is to long, but also just to let you know, because none of this shit ever plays out the best possible way. And it looks obvious to me on those shorter time frames. It looks obvious to me that the next play is down here. Well, when it looks obvious, then that's usually when you get swerved. So when we get up here and we start looking, if we continue to pump through this range, which let's kind of zoom out here. And if you look at that range right there, once we've hit this, then you have, you don't have a real good pocket, but you have a little bit of a pocket in this range right here that could take you up to 27.9, which could propel you over 28, then get you into this range and into 28.3. Now, if we got up to 28.3, let's go back over here and look. Oh, wow. Look, that's where the liquidity is. So that's kind of a snaking sort of way to say I have no idea where we're going. But, you know, if you got to this point of control, then you're looking for a break one way or another. So if you're looking to enter a position, then I would strongly recommend that let's clear this out. Let's assume that we do make it to that point of control. So from the point of control, I would be looking at a move to this area up here around 27,860. Or if you're going to take a risk, then I would look at 27,600. That move up or down that way would maybe signify potentially which direction the move was going to go. And then maybe you could settle into a position to ride it out to 28.3 or down to 27.3. But one way or another, we're going to get to some of that liquidity. Anyway, all right, guys. Woo. That's it. So if you can help me out, sign up, become a member of the channel. Only $5 a month. NordVPN. I need 21 signups for the month. That was going to be a big one. We're going to play the MUSK game. We're going to do a lot with the MUSK game over the next bunch of days. We're going to make some content for it this weekend. We're going to be having a whole lot of different MUSK stuff. And by the way, we're going to announce a winner pretty soon for a $100 giveaway on Elon Muskrat. And if you haven't seen it so far, by all means, go check it out. And Saturday, Volt is going to have an announcement. And remember, you might like Pablo, you might like Power, you might like Space Chick, you might like El Musa, you might like YL and that horrible Golden State Warrior bullshit team he likes. You might like all of those, but I am the most volted man in crypto. Tomorrow, I'm going to be wearing Volt gear. So it's going to be a Volted Friday. So if you have Volt gear, and by the way, I did find a few more hats. So maybe we'll do a giveaway for some Volt stuff. If I can get a Volt audience, I don't even know if I have a Volt audience at this point anymore. But if I can get a Volt audience out here, I mean, a bigger than just a couple people, then we can get some Volted gear out here. And, you know, maybe we'll give some of it away. I got a couple more hats to give away. So this is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.
It's been a long day, I mean a long week, maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're in